Okay, so good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about motion. Now, motion is one of the more common events in your surroundings. You can see motion in natural events such as the clouds moving, rain and snow falling, and streams of water moving, all in never-ending cycle. Motion can also be seen in the activities of people who walk, jog, or drive various machines from place to place. Motion is so common that you would think everyone would intuitively understand the concepts of motion. But history indicates that it was only during the past 300 years or so that people began to understand motion correctly. Perhaps the correct concepts are subtle and contrary to common sense, requiring a search for simple, clear concepts in otherwise complex situations. The process of finding such order in a multitude of sensory impressions by taking measurable data and then inventing a concept to describe what is happening is the activity called science. Now, we will apply this process to motion. Okay, so again, what is motion? Okay, now we have to consider a ball that you notice one morning in the middle of lawn. Later, in the afternoon, you notice that the ball is at the edge of the lawn, against a fence. And you wonder if the wind or some person moved the ball. You do not know if the wind blew it at a steady rate, if many gusts of winds move it, or even if some children kick it all over the yard. All you know for sure is that the ball has been moved because it is in a different position after some time passed. So ito na yung two aspects, important aspects of motion natin. The change of position and the passage of time. Just like our example na nakita ninyo, the ball is at the edge of the lawn na or in defense. So, that is the change of position. Then, after some time, okay, nagpass na siya. That is the passage of time. Okay, now, if you did happen to see the ball rolling across the lawn in the wind, you would see more than the ball at just two locations. You would see the ball moving continuously. You could consider, however, the ball in continuous motion to be a series of individual locations with very small time intervals. Moving involves a change of position during some period of time. Now, it is now therefore, we will define now, motion is the act or process of something changing position. The motion of an object is usually described with respect to something else that is considered to be not moving. Okay, now, um, imagine that you are traveling in an automobile with another person. You know that you are moving across the land outside the car since your location on the highway changes from one moment to another. Observing your fellow passenger, however, reveals no change of position. So you are in motion relative to the highway outside the car, but you are not in motion relative to your fellow passenger. So your motion and the motion of any other object or body is the process of a change in position relative to some reference object or location. Thus, motion can be defined as the act or process of changing position relative to some reference during a period of time. So, we need here the point of reference. Gaya nga ng example natin kanina sa loob ng bus, okay? So, sa labas, you are moving relative sa mga tao sa labas. Pero pag sa katabi mo, you are not moving relative to your fellow passenger. So we need some point of reference in defining motion. Okay? So now, okay, so we have measuring motion. Now you have learned that the objects can be described by measuring certain fundamental properties such as the mass and length. Since motion involves a change of position, and the passage of time, the motion of objects can be described by using combinations of the fundamental properties of length and time. These combinations of measurement describe three properties of motion. We have the speed, velocity, and acceleration. Now, we will proceed to speed. Okay, suppose you are in a car that is moving over a straight road. How could you describe your motion? Now, you need at least two measurements. The distance you have traveled and the time that has elapsed while you cover the distance. So, itong dalawa lang. The distance and the time, ito yung kailangan natin para ma-define yung motion natin. We have distance and we have the time. Such a distance and time can be expressed as a ratio that describes your motion. So, this ratio is a property of motion called the speed. Okay? Ratio between Okay, so the ratio property of motion is called the speed, which is a measure of how fast you are moving. So therefore now, we can define speed is defined as distance per unit of time. Or simply, we have the mathematical equation, we have d is equal to, or um, we have speed is equal to distance over time, or S is equal to dt, where your S is in meter and your T is in seconds. Therefore, the unit of other speed is meter per seconds. So we can also use um, units to describe speeds, just like the mile per hour, the kilometer per hour. Okay, so we can also use this one. Mile per hour, kilometer per hour, or the meter per seconds. Oh, now, let's go back to your car that is moving over a straight highway. And imagine you are driving to cover equal distances in equal periods of time. If you use a stopwatch to measure the time required to cover the distance between highway mile markers, okay, so the time intervals will all be equal. You might find, for example, that 1 minute lapses between each mile marker. Such a uniform straight line motion that covers equal distances in equal periods of time is the simplest kind of motion. Okay, so if your car were moving over equal distances in equal periods of time, it would have a constant speed. Okay, remember class, ha? Equal distance, equal time. So you have a constant speed. So this means that the car is neither speeding up nor slowing down. Equal lang siya, balance lang siya. Hindi siya bumibilis and hindi siya nag-i-slow. Now, it is usually difficult to maintain a constant speed. Yeah. Mahirap i-maintain ang constant speed natin. So, other cars and distractions such as interesting scenery cause you to reduce your speed. At other times, you increase your speed. If you calculate your speed over an entire trip, you are considering a large distance between two places and the total time that elapsed. The increases and decreases in speed would be average. Therefore, most speed calculations are for an average speed. Okay, so mahirap i-maintain ang constant speed. So mostly, ang ginagamit natin is the average speed. So the average speed is the increases and decreases in speed. Now therefore, okay, so the speed at any specific instant, okay, so speed in any specific instant is called the instantaneous speed. To calculate the instantaneous speed, you would need to consider a very short time interval, one that approaches zero. An easier way would be to use the speedometer, which shows the speed at any instant. Now, the constant, instantaneous, or average speeds can be measured with any distance and time units. Common units in English system are miles per hour and feet per second. Metric units for the speed are commonly kilometers per hour and meters per second. And the ratio of any distance to time is usually read as a distance per time, such as miles per hour. So the per means for each. Okay? So now, therefore, we will proceed now uh, to the problem solving related to speed. Okay, so number one, okay, so a man walks 20 kilometer in 4 hours. So find his speed. Okay, so this is the step in solving the problem. Number one, we have to write the given in the problem. So what are the given in the problem? We have the distance which is the 20 kilometer. The time is 4 hours. So what is the unknown in the problem is the speed. And the formula of speed is S is equal to D whole over time. Since the distance and time are given, you only need to do is to substitute all the given problem in our formula. Okay, so 20 kilometer divided by 4 hour is equal to 5 kilometer per hour. Okay, simply, ganyan lang siya. Okay, now how about so don't forget your unit, ha? Don't forget to write your unit, okay? So the answer is 5 kilometer per hour. Next, okay, so the driver, problem number 2. The driver of a car moving at 72 kilometer per hour drops a road map on the floor. So it takes him 3 seconds to locate and pick up the map. How far did he travel during this time? Okay, so now, again, write the given in the problem. What are the given in the problem? We have the speed. The speed is 72 kilometer per hour. And the time is 3 seconds. Okay, take note. Take note that we have seconds here and you have kilometer per hour. This is kilometer per hour. So we need to convert first the speed into meter per seconds. Okay, so here's the way to convert the 72 kilometer per hour into meter per second. Bring down the value, kilometer per hour, times, okay, so in 1 kilometer, we have 1,000 meter. Times, in 1 hour, there are 3,600 seconds. Okay, cancel, 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 cancel. And ang natira is meter per seconds. Now we have to compute 72 times 1,000 divided by 3,600. The answer is 20 meter per second. So now let's proceed now to our formula, okay, or the equation. So what we are looking for is the distance. Distance is unknown. So we have the formula S is equal to D all over T. Okay, since this is the unknown, we have to derive this equation. Okay, so cross multiply lang ST. So we have ST is equal to D or D is equal to your speed times time. The speed now is 20 meter per seconds times the time is 3 seconds. Okay? So, now 20 times 3, the answer is 60 meters. So, cancel seconds, cancel seconds. You have 60 meter. Simply 60 meter. Okay, gets? Okay. That is the sample problem of the speed. Now, to let's proceed to velocity. Ano naman tong velocity na to? Okay. So the word velocity is sometimes used to describe or sometimes used interchangeably with the word speed, but there is a difference. Velocity describes, now your velocity describes the speed and direction of moving object. For example, a speed might be described as 60 km per hour. A velocity might be described 60 km per hour to the west. To the west. Okay, so speed is a scalar and velocity is a vector. It has a direction. Okay? Now, to produce a change in velocity, either the speed or the direction is changed or both are changed. Now, for example, a satellite moving with a constant speed in a circular orbit around Earth does not have a constant velocity since okay, so its direction of movement is constantly changing. So, hindi mo siya masasabing constant velocity kung nagbabago yung direction niya. Okay? Now, velocity can be represented, okay, so graphically with arrows. Now, okay, so we have the formula in velocity, which is V is equal to displacement divided by change in time, or simply we have d all over change in time. Okay? The the unit is meter per seconds. Okay, to better understand what is velocity means, so we have a problem solving here. Again, okay. So we have the problem solving number 1. Now, a man walks 7 kilometer in 2 hours and 2 kilometer in 1 hour in the same direction. What is the man's average velocity for the whole journey? Okay, so take note guys, take note class that in the same direction. Okay, so here, the displacement, our displacement, we have to write all the given in the problem. First, the displacement, you add 7 kilometer plus 2 kilometers. Since they have the same direction, you add them. So this is 9 kilometer. Now, change in time, you have to add them din. 2, 2 hour plus 1 hour, you have 3 hours. Then proceed. What we are looking for is the average velocity. Okay? So let's proceed to the given formula. V is equal to displacement over change in time. Displacement is 9 kilometer and the change in time is 3 hours. Okay, so the answer is 3 kilometer per hour. Okay, madali lang siya. Ganyan lang. You have to understand the problem before you proceed to the solution. Okay? Another one. Next. A man walks 7 kilometer east in 2 hours and then 2.5 kilometer west in 1 hour. Okay. What is the man's average velocity for the whole journey? Okay na, magkaiba na sila. East yung isa, then west naman yung isa. So what we are looking for is the average velocity. What is the displacement? So the displacement is we have to subtract them because they are in opposite direction or different direction. You have to add them pag the same direction sila. So 7 minus 2.7 kilometer minus 2.5 kilometer. Answer 4, we have 4.5. 4.5 kilometer. Okay? Now, in time, you have to add them. The time is 2 plus 1, which is 3 hours. Okay. So now, substitute all the given in the problem or in the formula. D is 4.5 kilometer divided by 3 hours. So we have 4.5 divided by 3 hour. We have the 1.5 kilometer per hour. Okay? So now, that's all. Yan lang yung velocity natin. Now, let's proceed to acceleration. Okay. So, ano naman tong acceleration? Now, motion can be changed in 3 different ways. Yung una kanina, yung speed natin, changing the speed and changing the direction. Ngayon, sa acceleration, meron siyang kasama. We have combining both of these by changing both the speed and the direction of travel at the same time. Since velocity describes both the speed and the direction of the travel, any of these three changes will result in a change of velocity. You need at least one additional measurement to describe a change of motion, which is how much time elapsed while the change was taking place. So, we can now define or the change of velocity and time can be combined to define the rate at which the motion was changed. So this rate, okay, acceleration, rate at which motion was changed. Or we can simply define acceleration, okay, acceleration is equal to change of velocity divided by the time elapsed. Velocity divided by the time elapsed. Or the change of velocity, you have the final velocity minus the initial velocity divided by t. Okay, so yan yung acceleration natin. Okay, so to better understand what I'm talking about, okay, we have an example here. Okay, number 1. Consider a car that is moving with a constant straight line velocity of 60 km when the driver accelerates to 80 km per hour. Suppose it takes 4 seconds to increase the velocity of 60 km per hour to 80 km per hour. What is the acceleration? Okay? So what we are looking for is acceleration. Again, you have to write all the given in the problem. Given. Ano yung given natin? We have the initial velocity. You have your initial velocity, which is 60 km per hour. The final velocity is 80 km per hour. Okay? And the time is 4 seconds. What we are looking for is the acceleration. Okay, so simply substitute all the given in the problem. Now, we have A is equal to final velocity minus the initial velocity all over time. Okay, now your initial and the final velocity, you have the 80 km per hour minus 60 km per hour divided by 4 seconds. Okay? So 80 minus 60 is 20 km per hour and 4 seconds. Again, you have to look on the unit. Okay, so kilometer per hour and then seconds to. Hindi natin pwedeng i-divide to kapag they have different unit. So we have to convert again 20 km per hour into meter per seconds para makancel natin si seconds at mahanap or maano natin si acceleration. Now we have, this is the way to convert that one, kilometer per hour times, okay? So in 1 kilometer, we have 1,000 meter times, in 1 hour, we have 3,600 seconds. Okay? So 20 times 1,000 divided by 3,600, 5.56. Okay, 5.56 cancel R, cancel kilometer, meter per second. Now, since we have 5.56 meter per second divided by 4 seconds. So the answer is 5.56 divided by 4. The answer is 1.39 meter per second square. Okay? So, tignan ninyo kung same ang mga unit nila. If hindi same, you have to convert. Okay? As long as the unit of our acceleration must be in meter per second squared. Okay? So, another one. We have number 2. Starting with a constant velocity of 50 km per hour, a car accelerates for 32 seconds at an acceleration of 0.5 meter per second squared. What is the velocity of the car at the end of the period of 32 seconds of acceleration? So what we are looking for is the final velocity. Okay? So ano yung mga given natin? Given. The initial velocity is 50 km per hour. Accelerates at for 32 seconds. The time is 32 seconds. And the acceleration is 0.5 meter per second squared. So the unknown is the final velocity. So we have the formula A is equal to final velocity minus the initial velocity all over time. Okay, so ang hinahanap is the final velocity. We have to derive this equation para mahanap na natin si final velocity. So cross multiply, we have 80. Okay, 80 is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity. Ano yung gagawin natin para matanggal itong si initial velocity dito sa side na to para maiwan lang si final velocity? So we have to add both side of the equation by the initial velocity plus initial velocity dito sa side na to plus initial velocity. So cancel. Now we have the final velocity is equal to the initial velocity plus 80. So since given naman na tong lahat, okay, so we have to convert them now or substitute. So initial velocity is 50 kilometer per hour plus the acceleration is 0.5 meter per second squared times 32 seconds. Okay? Since ang given naman natin sa initial velocity natin is in kilometer per hour, okay, so ang hanapin natin na final velocity must be in kilometer per hour. Okay? So, 50 kilometer per hour plus 0.5 times 32 is 16 plus 16 meter per seconds. Okay. We have to convert meter per seconds into kilometer per hour kasi hindi natin pwedeng i-add yan pag different units sila. Okay, so 16 meter per seconds times, okay, so in 1 kilometer, may 1,000 meter yan, times Okay? So in 1 hour, we have 3,600 seconds. Now, 16 divided by 1,000 times 3,600 is 57.6. So you have to cancel meter, meter, and seconds. So ang natira, kilometer per hour. So we have 50 kilometer per hour plus 57 kilometer per hour. The answer is 107. Oh, okay, so 57.6 pala to. 57.6, we have the 107.6 kilometer per hour. So, ito na ngayon yung final velocity natin. Okay? So, that's all for today. The speed, velocity, and acceleration. So, for next meeting, we will have to discuss the 3 laws of motion.